For the last couple of weeks, we've been going through actual publishing deal clauses, the parts of them, right? But this week, I'm going to actually come to a broader space, and then we're going to dig into the types of deals that may better suit you. Find out next, coming up on the Music Money Makeover Show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Music Money Makeover Show. I am Casey Graham, and this is another episode of the Publishing Deals Explained series. Now, for some of you long-term followers who've been following the show for quite some time, you may remember back when I was doing the seasons, we covered different types of publishing deals. But I want to kind of tailor this one to the last couple of videos we've been doing in this series. And we're going to go over 3 publishing deals that actually may fit what you're doing. And these are going to be pretty much the 3 main publishing deals that you're going to find in the market right now that you are going to actually use. So let's jump into the first one. The first deal is going to be something called a collection deal, and it is the smallest deal on the entire spectrum. Okay, so let's dig into it. A collection deal is actually a deal that is what it says. It is there and it's in a place to actually collect all of your publishing revenue from the composition copyright from Form PA, all right? We're not selling records. We're only dealing with monies coming in from you actually writing the song, notes, melodies, lyrics, all that on a piece of paper. We're talking about that stuff, okay? And the publisher that's collecting the money under a collection deal will usually do it at a rate of 10 to 17, maybe up to 20%. Now, for a lot of you all who are having collection deals brought to you from CD Baby, TuneCore, all of the distributors out there, they're pretty much doing it from a range of 15 to 20%. And if you can find something at 15%, cool. I don't really recommend someone collecting for you that is a part of CD Baby or this, that, and the third, because as you're just getting started, I feel like the best thing for you to do is to actually register all your music at the respective companies to get all the money back to yourself. All right. And it'll probably do you a bit of good to actually register it yourself so that that 15% when you're a small operation won't kind of get in the way. Maybe you have someone set it up for you. We can do that here at Music Money Makeover. We can set those accounts up for you, but at least all the money will come back to you, and you can find out about these accounts down in the link below under our profit maximization checklist. All right, so in the collection deal, the term on the deal will be anywhere from 2 to 3 years or 3 to 5, depending on how you want to do it. It could be on a yearly term, which I don't like necessarily yearly terms. It's not enough time for the money to come in. Publishing money takes a while for it to be reeled in. So you might want to think about that. And a collection deal for a lot of you who are just getting started may be the best thing, okay? But for those of you all who have had a couple records placed and you need someone to do a little bit more heavy lifting than just collecting the money, right? Because you're doing so well that you're in the studio, you're going to need someone to actually help you sell these records. Now, for those of you all who are just getting started, you're going to be on the ground selling records yourself until you can get to the place where you can no longer really physically do that so much every day, and you got to focus on writing because there's a demand increase for your writing. You're going to jump into the next deal. It's bigger brother, which will be called an administration deal. Wait, but before we do that, we must jump into a couple things that are called rights of consent. Now, these rights have nothing to do with the actual copyright, but these are just permissions that you give the publisher so that they may actually do the licensing on your behalf. They must ask you first if they can do what it is they will be planning to do with the licenses, and I'll go through a couple of them. All right, check this out. Allowing for another party or the publisher to make changes to your music. Allowing for the creation and the distribution of mechanical reproduction or the mechanical reproduction of your music to be sold at lower than the statutory rate. Now, some of you all may be a little bit advanced and you know that the statutory rate of a mechanical license is about 9.1 cents when it comes to physical sales. On the digital space or the streaming space is about 10%, 9 to 10% of the actual overall revenue that the streaming services get, and you get paid out through Harry Fox and Music Reports. However, if the publisher decides to administer and license something for less than the statutory rate, they must ask you first. And just don't forget, statutory is just a fancy word meaning law. All right, let's go to another one. Allowing for the title of your song to be used in a play, film, or television program. Allowing for the song to be synchronized to a television program or motion picture bearing the ratings of X or something to its equivalent. All right, so most of the time it's written in publishing agreements to saying that they won't use the song in some defamatory nature, but that's what they're talking about. You don't want to go into the XXX land. All right, so if they decide to go there, then they must ask you. And I think a lot of people watch these things, but I'm just saying it's an open market for you instrumentalists out there who want to provide something for that market. It is open for you, and it's a lot of money. If those of you all who are chasing money and don't really have too many morals, you can go into that market. It is open for you. All right, but music needs to go everywhere, right? So anyway, let's go to the next one. Allowing for a dramatic adaptation of your song. And the best way I can explain this is, let's say, the BET series Tales. All right, every single episode is based on a record, okay? And those records come from the script of the show comes from the actual lyrics. They explain the lyrics in a full dramatic 1 hour long adaptation. And there is your example of a dramatic adaptation of your song. All right. So now that we have all of these rights of consent explained, let's go into the administration deal. Now, the administration deal is based on a 2 to 3 year term or a 3 to 5 year term. All right. Now, in the term, it means how long will the deal last? And, how often will they renew? Now, in the administration deal, now that we have the term set, it will do basically the same thing that the collection deal did. They will collect on your behalf, but the added bonus is that they actually will administer and procure and issue any licenses that need to be done. The collection deal will not do that. However, the administration deal will. And in exchange for that, they will ask for an increased percentage anywhere from 20% to 25%. Okay, so you want to look out for that, but that's a little bit more heavy lifting. If you need some more of that because you've been in demand a little bit more, go for that deal. All right, it may really, really benefit you. All right, and you want people to look out for you. Doing a deal with CD Baby TuneCore is not going to be the best administration deal for you out there, especially if you don't know anyone in the office. You need to have someone actually on the ground doing the work for you. Okay. So you want to be on the lookout for that. There is no advance within the administration deal, okay? But they will exploit your works, especially if you're in demand. That's the only time an administration deal will be beneficial to you and the publisher is your brand. As a songwriter, when you're in demand in the market, it may look good to a publisher to say, hey, let's do an administration deal. I'll do some extra exploitation on your behalf, but I think this would be a good fit for us. However, if you feel that you need just a little bit more to get your juices flowing, then you want to step it up to the next deal, which is what we've been going over for the last 3 episodes, is a co-publishing deal. That's like a 50-50 deal. Okay. Now, let me explain how the revenue works. Collection deal, administration deal, anywhere from 10 all the way up to 25%. All right. For those, the range of those 2 deals combined. All right. But they never issued you any money. The difference is with a co-publishing deal, you have to grant them rights. If you go back 4 episodes, we talk about the grant of rights in a publishing deal. That's because in a co-publishing deal, you have to grant them an ownership stake in the actual deal. So you have to give them ownership of the copyright, okay? In an administration deal and a collection deal, you don't give them ownership of a copyright. But in a collection deal, you do give them ownership of a copyright, of your copyright. And in exchange for that, they give you an advance. All right. And so their revenue is derived directly from their 50% share in your copyright. Okay. Makes sense? If it doesn't, just drop some questions down below in the comments section. What good will this publishing deal do for us? This publishing deal will give you a little bit of money and advance money on your royalties, your future earnings, and so that you may get into the studio with more people. All right. This publisher, because they have money to advance you, may have a lot more access. They may have a deep client base for you to work with already, which is very good. So now all of that hard work that you've been doing on your own, it gets a little bit easier. You can just go right into the studio, pick up the phone and say, hey man, I got a couple tracks I think will work for your other artists on this publishing label in this publishing house. Can you please work it out for me? Let's get in the studio together. I want to make some records. So now the phone book gets easier. The connections get easier dealing with a co-publishing situation, depending on how big the publisher is. All right. So a couple key things here. That ownership stake is no longer on a 3 to 5 year or 2 to 3 year term. It is for the life of the copyright. And I'll put that video up somewhere in this little I section up here. The information button on other YouTube videos. Anyway, it has to deal with the life of the copyright when you give them that ownership stake. So they are now in bed with you to the end of your life. All right. Until 70 years after the end of your life. And then hopefully in the deal, for the benefit of the publisher, they put the renewal rights on in their favor. But as an artist, you might want to have the renewal rights in your favor so that the rights go back to the estate and it leaves the publisher. Okay. So, you want to look at these things in the deal. So let me explain how a co-publishing deal works. Let's say you and I, we write a song together. You and I are now co-publishers, all right? But why would we want to go get a co-publisher? Let's say we are doing really well in our geographical region. Let's say I'm in the Southeast, so we're doing really well in the Southeast, making some pretty decent money, but we could use some more, right? We need a quick advance on our royalties, but we're willing to part with a piece of that. We don't have someone doing administration on our behalf. We're tired of doing it ourselves because we're very busy now. We don't have the time to do so, okay? But we need more access to people so that we can write with. This is the time we want to go and we want to look for a co-publishing deal. We need an advance and we need access to artists so that our songs can get there and maybe a couple extra writers to help us out. That's when you want to go look for that co-pub deal. If you don't need all of that, just shoot for the administration deal or the collection deal and just continue doing all the hard lifting and heavy elbow grease work for yourself. Now, if you want to know how to do this stuff for yourself, then you can at least start with the free ebook that I have below. It's called the Profit Maximization Checklist, and it has pretty much all the accounts that a publisher would register for in the actual book. All right, you can download that in the description below. And then if you want to know how to utilize those accounts and set up your publishing company correctly, all right, then you want to download the Musician's Guide to Self-Publishing #1 down below. In this guide, we go through several steps to not only teach you how to exploit or give you ideas of how to exploit your copyright through every grant of rights in the first paragraph of your publishing deal, but we also tell you where these rights are coming from and what companies are the sources of them, when should you register, what numbers do you actually need to register, and at what times. All of this is based in that book. Now, this is a lot if you want to set up your publishing company the right way to get the money in as fast as you want to get it in, as fast as it can possibly be brought to you. You download that ebook below as well, okay? Anyway, that has been this week's show. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this video. To the YouTube page. And you can follow me or like us on Facebook and follow me on Instagram at Music Money Makeover. On Facebook, Music Money Makeover. And then subscribe right here below on YouTube, Music Money Makeover Show. I'm Casey Graham once again. Thank you for watching. If you learned something, please click subscribe and share. All right. If you want to get more information and extra tidbits of the things that that I talk about here. Sign up for our email list by downloading the Profit Maximization Checklist. I promise you, you'll get a lot more information in your email. All right, and we won't spam you. I don't have time to spam. I don't really care for doing that. I just care about teaching. Anyway, download below. I will see you next time. Peace.